Paul Morphy, 1837 to 1884, was an American chess player. He was considered to be the greatest chess player of his era. Even the great Bobby Fischer included him in his list of the 10 greatest players of all time. Unfortunately, Morphy died before the first official World Chess Championship took place in 1886. It would have been interesting to see how he compared against Steinitz. E4 in this game is a brilliant example of the playing style of players from the Romantic era of chess. Morphy, playing white, wins a brilliant miniature in only 17 moves. E5, knight to f3, d6, d4. The opening is called the Philidor Defense and is named after François-André Danican Philidor, the stronger player of the 18th century. E-capture d4 and knight to f6 are the main theoretical moves for black in this opening today. Bishop to g4, this move is considered to be dubious. Today, beginners are usually told to develop their knights first and only then their bishops. D-capture e5, Morphy takes e5 and more or fewer forces black to give up the bishop pair if he does not want to lose a pawn. After d-capture e5, queen captures d8 check. King captures d8, knight captures e5, white wins a pawn, and black loses the ability to castle. Bishop captures f3. Queen captures f3, d captures e5, bishop c4, knight to f6. Another mistake by black. The move knight to f6 looks like a solid developing move at first glance. However, white has a tactical refutation at hand. It would have been better for black to play queen to f6. Queen to b3. Suddenly, two of black's pawns are under attack. Queen to e7. Black has to defend the f7 pawn. Knight to c3, this an interesting choice by Morphy, which is typical for the player of the Romantic era of chess. Instead of grabbing a pawn, Morphy develops a piece to put even more pressure on his opponent. Of course, it would have been possible for white to capture on b7. However, this would allow black to exchange queens and white would lose the initiative. c6. By playing c6, black protects his pawn on b7 and takes away the squares b5 and d5 for white's knight. Bishop to g5. Morphy develops his last minor piece and puts even more pressure on his opponent. It's difficult for black to develop his pieces in this position. b5. Black loses his patience. He wants to drive away white's bishop from the excellent a2 g8 diagonal. However, black's move runs into a tactical refutation. Knight captures b5. An excellent move by Morphy, who knows that his lead in development justifies the sacrifice. C captures b5. Bishop captures b5 check, b knight to d7. Long castle. Simply brilliant. White brings his king to safety and develops his rook on a1. Black is lost. However, Morphy finds a brilliant way to end the game. Rook to d8, rook captures d7. Morphy temporarily sacrifices an exchange in order to bring his last piece into play. Rook captures d7, rook to d1. Queen to e6. Pure desperation by black. However, it is interesting to see how Morphy finishes the game. Today, most players would probably take on f6 and on d7 with a completely winning position. Morphy, however, finds a much more convincing way to end the game. Bishop captures on d7 check. Knight captures on d7, queen b8 check, knight captures on b8, rook to d8 checkmate. A brilliant example of the importance of development and initiative in the opening. Thanks for watching.